Hello, this is the TradeSite US Stocks Futures Market Preview for, look at this, the week beginning Sunday, December 31st, 2023, ending Friday, January 5th, 2024. Welcome to the new year, and of course the markets across the board are closed on Monday, so really we don't even start till Tuesday. At least it's nice we don't have a holiday in the middle of the week. We've already got levels posted for next Tuesday. And we'll see what we get. Start of a new year. You know, the rule usually the first 3 days in one direction, the rest of the month in the other direction. So we'll see what happens there. And of course, hard to say whether it's a slow start because it's been a long weekend and everybody's still coming out, or if everybody gets right to it. So we just got to watch our volume and go from there and see what happens. Here's a look at the dollar index daily chart. Basically closed out the year about where it opened. This is kind of a year-end recap of a lot of these things while we're at it. So had obviously been much higher, actually closed in the lower half of the year's range, which is interesting. Here's the euro dollar futures. And this one's got a 13 sell signal on the seeker on the daily chart here. But again, closing out the year basically right where it opened. The pound dollar up a little bit for the year. ES front month futures contract. This is the daily chart of the broad market in futures form. We do have a 13 seeker sell signal on here as well. The last one basically was the top of the market back in July until we bottomed out in October. So, you know, we'll see what happens. But of course, we did close out the year basically at highs. So S&P Cash also has the 13. NASDAQ 100 got a 13 a couple days ago. Also closed out the year at highs. You know, pretty strong year. One of the best since 2004, I believe, on the NASDAQ. Russell 2000 closed at highs on Wednesday of last week, and then Thursday and Friday pulled back a little bit. You know, usually good time of year for the small caps is January until tax day. A lot of new money comes in, they go into those stocks, but if the market takes a hit, obviously, that could be a different story. Here's a look at Bitcoin. Got all the way back up to the 42,000 plus and change number. Currently got a little bit higher than that last month. TLT, the 20-year bond ETF, closed at 100-ish for the year, just below it. Big rally off the lows after, obviously, the interest rate situation that was going on a few months ago. So rates have, as they say, bonds up, rates back down quite a bit. The VIX is the boring thing, down closing at 12.45 on the year. The lowest general area it's been in, even worse than the summer, and that's why the markets have been so slow. We need something to shake the market loose and get the VIX moving again. Advanced decline ratio on the New York was all over the board this week, but closed negative on the last day of the year. The trend closes at 1.34, puts the 10-day moving average at 1.04. That's not below the blue line, which is the 0.85. That would have been a sell signal, so we've got nothing there to look at. And then, of course, we were expecting a slow week, and here it is. Because we were closed last Monday for Christmas, this is actually showing you the prior Thursday, then Friday, and then the last 4 days. Literally closed where we opened and never went anywhere on the ES. Basically the same, almost exactly the same on the NASDAQ. So that's what you usually get at the last week of the year because the markets are so slow. FSLR, daily chart. Okay, not much here. Zoom. Not much here as well. Near the highs of the year, NVIDIA closing out near the highs of the year. Tesla closing out mid-range for the year, sold off 2.2 couple days lately last week. Netflix closing near the highs of the year. Goldman Sachs closing at highs for the year, and that's a big rally off of where it was. That's a 100-point rally from late October till here, so big move there. Google had a 13 sell signal at the highest day, which is last Tuesday. It's the first 13 sell signal on Google on the daily chart for months, so we'll see what that means. Meta closes at near highs, of course. Amazon also at highs, and Apple not quite there. And if this thing ticks up a couple days, it would get a 13 sell signal. Anyways, there's also a weekly chart sell signal on Apple, which is significant. We'll see what that means. It hasn't had one for a very long time. We're talking years. So, we'll have to keep an eye on what that does to that stock as we enter 2024, because obviously if Apple takes a hit, it would affect the markets. All right, so in terms of the layout for the week, again, we're closed Monday across the world. So Tuesday, you still got Switzerland on a bank holiday. You've got manufacturing PMI numbers around Europe, and then here in the U.S. and Canada as well. Japan stays on a bank holiday, and then Wednesday, We've got ISM manufacturing PMI, JOLTS job openings, ISM manufacturing prices, awards to vehicle sales, FOMC minutes from the last Fed meeting at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. On Thursday, we've got the Challenger job cuts here at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time, ADP non-farm employment change at 8:15, the weekly initial and continuing jobless claims numbers at 8:30, final services PMI at 9:45, natty gas at 10:30, crude oil inventories at 11. It's on Thursday because of the holiday on Monday, so they don't do it on Wednesday this week. And then Friday, you've got the unemployment rate and non-farm payroll numbers. That's it. Now we have the ISM services PMI and factory orders at 10. So there's a few numbers that matter. The big one would probably be the unemployment rate again. And again, the biggest question is, do we kick off right away because we've got a clean run starting on Tuesday, or does it take a day for everybody to wash off the hangovers and get back to work? So we'll be keeping an eye on volume and action, and hopefully get back to it because obviously the last 2 weeks have not been very interesting. So the future stuff has worked well, but everything else has been kind of blah. We've had too many stocks close where our triggers were, and that's just because nothing's been moving. Charts as usual brought to you by NinjaTrader. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple of weeks. Have a great trading week.